As he left the streets of Mecca, he was trying to find a home, a place for the believers, leaving their troubles behind. As he walked through the desert, he was thinking about his life. 10 years into Revelation, it was a trying test in time. He had just lost his wife, Khadija al-Mu'mineen, and he also lost Abu Talib, his protector from Quraysh. So many thoughts across his mind while he traveled on this journey. Now he came across a town, his destination a Taif, and he called them to Islam. La ilaha illallah. They did not care what he had to say. Straight away dismissed the prophet, making fun and mocking his message. They told him, leave, you're not welcome here. We'll never know the burden on his shoulders. The message came from up above. He struggled for you and I. Rasulullah, Khalilullah, Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now the tragedy begins. The prophet ups and leaves. The people of the town curse and mock the chosen one. As if this was not enough, they started throwing stones. Telling this story breaks my heart. He was bleeding head to toe. The prophet runs away from harm, finding shelter under a tree. His blessed body's covered with blood, and he sits down and prays. To Allah he called with a beautiful dua. So powerful and humbling was the prayer of the prophet. Straight away, a response from Allah. Angel Jibreel came from above with the angel of the mountains of Taif. Jibreel alayhi salam said, O Prophet of Allah, I have brought the angel of the mountains of Taif. He will destroy that town and the people who hurt you. Your Lord has seen your pain and he sends us down to you. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he looked at the angel, said, don't hurt them. They do not know and I forgive them. Inshallah, one day they will come to Islam. Look how amazing our prophet was. Rasulullah, Khalilullah, Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The day I cried. This story of Taif was the reason I cried. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in this story went through so many hardships. And these hardships taught me, answered so many questions in my life. The early memories of my life, especially my childhood, were happy memories. But in the midst of this childhood innocence was a hard life. My father used to work all the time to keep things afloat. But then he fell ill and things got harder. But my father and mother made sure that we were always safe and were never hungry. But the material things in life was never an option. No fancy clothes, no fancy games. And holidays, in the summer holidays, was either trips to Blackburn to see my uncle or staying in the local area with all the other kids who couldn't afford to go away. But going back to school after the summer holidays was tough because most of my friends were talking about their holidays in Spain, Portugal, Florida, and I was very quiet in the corner, as you can imagine. I mean, what was I going to say? I drove up the M6, stopped off at a service station in my dad's white van, which had no windows in the back. But these things didn't matter. Material things, holidays didn't matter because we were happy. But then a problem arose. And this problem was called puberty, the teenage years. See, I'm the youngest in 6 brothers and sisters. We Muslims, we love to procreate. It's the thing we do. And if you're youngest in your family here, you know how difficult it is because we've got a target on our back when we're young. It's like, pick on me, I'm good with it, it's fine, do whatever you want. So in this family dynamic, and my newfound facial hair, by the way, I was not seen. I felt like I was not noticed. There were so many people around, but I wasn't seen. So I thought, I need to do something in life which will make me be seen by the world. So I thought, what can I do? Which is something that I love, and then I can pursue it. I loved football. It was settled. I would become the first South Asian England professional international football player. I did everything to pursue that dream. And luckily for me, we lived near Wembley Stadium, and I knew where the official bus would go through. So on several match days, Paul Gascoigne, Alan Shearer, and Sol Campbell will see this small little boy running along the coach and waving at them. Furiously, just waving at them. They're thinking I'm crazy. What is he doing? But my mind was going wild because I thought, imagine I was in that bus. So, came home from school, forget homework, it was football for me. Everything I did was football. See, I'm from a South Asian household. And when you tell your parents you want to be a footballer, they don't hear you want to be a footballer. They hear, I want to be a footballer's accountant, right? They don't believe in that kind of stuff. But it was my dream, and I wanted to pursue it. I did everything I could. I even wrote to every single Premier League club and League One club in England, asking for a football trial. I got the same response from everybody. It was a no. Our academy is full, and we're not holding any trials. This taught me a very, very important lesson in life, rejection. In hindsight, it strengthened me up. But at that time, in my early teens, it was very difficult, because when you're young and you get about over 30 letters of no's, it's not easy to take. And also, I made the grave decision to support my brother's football team. So I have 3 brothers. One supports Liverpool, one supports Chelsea, and the one I followed supports Tottenham. So I'm a Tottenham fan. I know, you can say, if you want. It's a struggle for me too. For me, the kind of aspect was, at that time, I was living in the era of, hi, my name is Alex Ferguson, and I win everything at Manchester United. My friends, all Manchester United fans, but if you showed them an England map, and you said, show me where Manchester is, they wouldn't have a clue. They were glory hunters. I was real, and I was a London Tottenham fan. The only thing that hasn't changed since my childhood to now is that I'm still waiting for Tottenham to win something. So hopefully that will change. I doubt it, the way they're playing. Anyway, that's a different talk altogether. Back to my football dream. In my late teens, it dawned on me, Omar, you're just not good enough to be a professional footballer. So with my heart and my dream shattered, I had this kind of aspect where running after football had a huge negative impact on my education. I didn't even turn up to my GCSEs, and shortly after, I dropped out altogether. Around this time, a cousin of mine visited our family home, and one evening, we started watching a Bollywood film. So basically, if you don't know what Bollywood is basically India's Hollywood. And my cousin looked at me during the film and said, you know what, Omar? I think you'd be a great actor. I laughed it off. But my mind, wanting to be noticed, was going crazy. I thought, you know what? I think I could be the next Bollywood superstar. I think she's right. I'm going to do that. I had no money, so now I had to work. I worked everywhere, by the way. I was a McVitie's biscuit packer. I was an ice cream van man. I worked at HOV Music Store. I worked at Orange Mobile. Then I went up the retail hierarchy table, and I started working for Marks and Spencer's. It was a highlight in my life at that time. And then I started working for my brother's father-in-law's import-export company. For one day, I worked in a call center. Finally, I moved to America to work at my father's and sister's corner shop. I know you're probably thinking, South Asian man, corner shop, how original. My time in America is a TED talk in itself, but let's just say it was a very interesting experience. So right now, I had the money, and I was ready. I found a flat in Mumbai, India. I found an acting school, found an acting teacher. I even started taking Hindi language lessons. A side note, one day I walked into the wrong language class. I walked into a Sylheti Bangla dialect class. As soon as I sat down, I knew my mistake, but I'm very shy. So I thought, I'm not going to leave. I think I have to just commit now. So I sat and I waited, and the teacher noticed. She looked at me and went, oh, hi, where are you from? I'm from London, I said. She said, no, what's your origin? I said, I'm British Pakistani. She started laughing. In my mind, I'm thinking, how rude. I don't know why she's laughing for. But she went on to say that in the Sylheti Bangla dialect, there's no such letter as P. So everything in the English language, which is pronounced with a P, is pronounced with an F. So pizza is pizza. Pauline is Pauline. And Pakistan, I'll let your imagination catch that one. Everybody laughed, just like that. And I thought, great, it's a great start. So going back to my Bollywood dream, I needed a visa. So one sunny day, I went to the Indian embassy in central London, walked in, application, handed it in to the embassy guy. It was all good until he got to the point where it said, my origin, British Pakistani. You should have seen his face, it was a picture. And I kid you not, he handed me a 3-digit pink slip. It looked like a raffle ticket. And it's like I had to win my way to India. So me being naive, I said, when will you call me? He goes, we'll call you. And I said, but roughly, give me a time. So there's a South Asian thing we do. We nod our head when we talk sometimes. So he looked at me sternly and he said, we'll call you. Let's just say it's the 2nd of October today, 2021. I'm still waiting for that call. So I was like, thank you, life. Even my ethnic origin is making my dreams go away from me. How am I ever going to be noticed? But the trials I'd faced, I'm an optimist sometimes. Whatever happens in life happens for a reason. So these trials led me to my ultimate calling, which is to be a singer. The story goes, I was watching X Factor one day with my 2 friends, and a Stevie Wonder song came on. I started singing along. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? My friends were like, huh? When did you learn how to sing? I was like, what? Did you practice in America, they said? I was like, no. I laughed that one off as well, but you know what I do. My mind. So I was thinking, oh my God, I think I'm gonna be the biggest singer in the world. I think this is it. I found it. So they went, and I went onto Google, and I started searching for a singing teacher. But I needed a singing teacher who would give me the first lesson for free. Because I was broke, I'd squandered all my India savings. I found somebody. So I went to the lesson, 5 minutes to finish, and the lady goes, okay, sing for me, show me what you've got. She sat down, started writing something, I started singing. As soon as I started singing, she stopped writing and looked up at me. My mind was, oh my God, I'm gonna kill my friends. They lied to me. She thinks I'm terrible. I'm wasting her time. I finished, there was a long silence, and she goes, no, it's not possible that you started singing last week. I went, is that bad, yeah? She goes, no, it's actually good. This is not true. You cannot have learned all this just last week. I went, well, I guess me singing all those Michael Jackson songs worked. You know, in the shower, of course. I was a shower singer before that. That was my stage. And I've never, ever looked back since then. Actually, singing actually got me into college, and it got me into university. I graduated with a BA Honours in Commercial Music. My mum and dad were so happy, because degrees in the South Asian community is gold dust. No matter what it is, he's got a degree. We're happy with him. Now do what you want. And that's the South Asian way. So I was a few years into my singer-songwriting career, And things were going well for me. I was signed with a really good management. I was being played on every major radio station. DJs were beginning to know my name. But there was something in me that I felt I was lost. I felt this darkness that I've never felt in my life. I was asking questions like, what is the purpose of my life? What am I doing? What am I chasing? Am I doing this for me? Or am I living for people out there? Am I selfish with what I'm doing? So the biggest thing happened to me at this time, I started reconnecting with my faith. And during this really dark period of me asking these questions, I actually picked up the English Quran and I started learning about the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. My mother and father were always practicing, but I wasn't. I used to believe in God, but I didn't follow the Islamic principles. But after reading the English Quran and learning about the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it completely changed my life. I completely gave up music because I thought, you know what? I'm only chasing this desire for myself. I'm only looking for fame and fortune for myself. What am I doing for the world? So, as I was ready to go back to America, to my father's corner shop, somebody said to me, why don't you do Islamic faith-based music? And I started doing Islamic faith-based music, which is called Nasheed, what I do today. And that also made me change in a way where I was like, doing something which I could bring hope to people. I could bring a positive message. There's loads of music out there, but I try to bring an alternative to that where I can uplift your day and make you think, show you that life's going to be okay. But because of life's hardship and all the trials I'd gone through, I was sad. I was sad. I was always questioning my Lord. My Lord, why me? Why am I broke? Am I not a good person? He's rich. What have I done? So all these questions all the time. But then I read the story of Taif. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried. Because the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, went through all this hardship and he never complained once. He looked at the positives and he just kept on with his journey. And for me, it just showed me that life is a journey. Today might be bad, but tomorrow will be better. We just have to have patience and faith, because after every hardship, the ease will come. Now, I just look forward to those very easy days. My happiness is very easy now, by the way. I meet my friends, my wife, my mother, my children. That's my happiness, especially Sundays, because I can hear my kids screaming the house down, and my wife is telling them to be quiet. That's my happiness now, and that is something I love. But I'm still looking to be noticed. But now, I'm looking to be noticed by God. My name is Omar Esa. Thank you so much for listening.